2022-এ আমাদের দেশ ভারত পালন করেছে স্বাধীনতার 75তম বর্ষপূর্তি। কেন্দ্রীয় সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে এই উদযাপনের নাম দেওয়া হয়েছিল আজাদি কা অমৃত মহোৎসব, আর এই সময়কালকে বলা হয়েছিল অমৃতকাল। আর ঠিক তারপরেই 40 বছরের অন্তরালে আবারও অশান্ত পাঞ্জাব। নেপথ্যে উত্থান এক চরিত্রের, নাম অমৃতপাল। আশ্চর্য সমাপতন। অমৃতপাল সিং, পুরো নাম অমৃতপাল সিং সান্ধু। জন্ম 1993 সালের 17 জানুয়ারি ভারতে, পাঞ্জাবের অমৃতসর জেলার জাল্লুপুর খেড়া নামের এক ছোট্ট গ্রামে। তবে তিনি নিজেকে ভারতীয় বলে মানেন কিনা জানতে চাইলে উত্তর এড়িয়ে যান, পাল্টা ছুঁড়ে দেন বেশ কিছু প্রশ্ন। তার দাবি ভারতের সীমানার ভেতরে থেকেই তিনি শান্তিপূর্ণভাবে খালিস্তান আদায় করবেন। তার কার্যকলাপ যদিও অন্য কথা বলছে। তার এক অনুগামী লভপ্রীত সিং তুফান অপহরণের দায়ে আটক হলে সদল বলে রীতিমতো কুরুক্ষেত্র বাঁধিয়ে দেন পাঞ্জাবের আজনালা থানায়। মারমুখী জনতার ভিড়ে এক প্রকার ব্ল্যাকমেলের মুখে তুফানকে ছাড়তে বাধ্য হয় পুলিশ। তার বক্তব্য তিনি পাঞ্জাবের ধর্ম, পরিচিতি এবং সংস্কৃতি রক্ষার লড়াই লড়ছেন। তিনি রাজ্যকে নেশা মুক্ত করবেন এবং শিখ ধর্মের পথ অনুসরণ করে পৃথক খালিস্তান গঠন করবেন। তবে তিনি কি আদৌ শিখ ধর্মের সাচ্চা অনুগামী? গত কয়েক বছর আগেও তিনি ছিলেন দুবাইয়ের বাসিন্দা। ছাঁটা চুল দাড়িতে ছিল ঝাঁ চকচকে লুক। অমৃতপালের প্রথম শিরোনামে উঠে আসা কৃষি আইন বিরোধী আন্দোলনের সময় ছিলেন গায়ক, অভিনেতা এবং কৃষক আন্দোলনের অন্যতম মুখ দীপ সিদ্ধুর ছায়া সঙ্গীত। পরে কৃষি বিল প্রত্যাহৃত হলে ফিরে যান সেই দুবাইতেই। সেখানে নাকি অমৃতপালের জীবন ছিল বেশ রঙিন। এক কথায় তিনি ছিলেন রমণী মোহন যৌবনে মাতোয়ারা। শোনা যায় সেই সময়তেই নজরে পড়ে যান পাক গুপ্তচর সংস্থা ইন্টার সার্ভিস ইন্টেলিজেন্স বা ISI এর। চলে ট্রেনিং, সঙ্গে মগজ ধোলাইও। গত সেপ্টেম্বরে ভারতে প্রত্যাবর্তন। দীপ সিদ্ধুর অবর্তমানে তার হাতেই দায়ভার যায় ওয়ারিস পাঞ্জাবদের। আর তারপর থেকেই এই অমৃতপালকে নিয়েই উত্তাল রাজ্য রাজনীতি। রীতিমতো ফিল্মি কায়দায় তিনি চোখে ধুলো দিয়েছেন পুলিশের। তার বেশ কিছু অনুগামী ধরা পড়লেও তাঁর নাগাল পাচ্ছে না পাঞ্জাব, হরিয়ানা কিংবা দিল্লির পুলিশও। শুধু প্রকাশ্যে আসছে বিভিন্ন এলাকায় সিসিটিভি ক্যামেরায় ধরা পড়া তার ছবি। শেষ এক ভিডিও বার্তায় তিনি জানিয়েছেন, ধরা নাহি দিব। কিন্তু কে এই অমৃতপাল? কোথা থেকে তার উত্থান? 80-র দশকে খালিস্তানি আন্দোলনের মুখ হয়ে ওঠেন জারনাইল সিং ভিন্দ্রাওয়ালে। তারই ছায়াতে নিজেকে দেখাতে চাইছেন অমৃতপাল। কিন্তু কেন? আদৌ কতটা মিল আছে এই দুজনের মধ্যে? আর কি ভবিষ্যৎ ভারতের উন্নত কৃষির রাজ্য পাঞ্জাবের? আবার কি ফিরে আসবে সেই কালো অধ্যায়? এই সব কিছুর ওপরেই আলোকপাত করবেন ব্রিটিশ ব্রডকাস্টিং কর্পোরেশনের প্রবীণ সাংবাদিক সতীশ জেকব, যিনি 1984-তে ভিন্দ্রাওয়ালেকে দেখেছিলেন খুব কাছ থেকে। শুনতে থাকুন পডকাস্টিং শুভর আজকের পর্বের আউট অফ সিলেবাস আড্ডা, অমৃতকাল ও অমৃতপাল। So in the last few months, we have seen a rapid upcoming of this character in the Punjab politics called Amritpal Singh. He himself claims to be in the shadow of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwalle. You have seen Jarnail Singh very closely. Do you think Amritpal has any similarity to Bhindranwalle?
He does not know Bhindranwalle at all.
Okay.
Bhindranwalle was a man who was in a different kind of a mold, and there is nobody who can match Bhindranwalle. This guy is a fraud.
Okay.
He does not have any following either, but he is a kind of a, like the Taliban have their own groups.
Okay.
So he is one of those guys who believes in shooting and killing and all that. But Bhindranwalle was full of confidence. I met him several times. Mm-hmm. If you read if you read a book which Mark and I wrote together
Right.
on Operation Blue Star, you read that book. We have quoted him several times. He knew what he was doing. He was not afraid of dying. And he died in the war. Do you think that a man who died in that Operation Blue Star, who never went anywhere, and he was killed, this guy is on the run?
Right. The call for Khalistan had led Punjab to the dark decade of the 80s. The same movement is gaining strength once again. What similarity or difference do you spot among these two times?
I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. That movement, Amritpal Singh has not revived that movement.
Okay.
He has got nothing to do with that movement. They were different species. They were different characters. This guy is gaining publicity and nothing else. He doesn't know anything about politics. He does not have any idea what he wants to do. He's not a guy who, like Bhindranwalle, I asked him several times, Bhindranwalle, I said, what do you want? What do you want to do? And he said, I don't want any independent state for Sikhs.
I see.
He never wanted a Sikh Khalistan. He said, we are part of India, we are Indians. But what he wanted was, he said, in Punjab, we should be allowed to have our own culture here.
Okay.
You see, like Guru Gobind Singh was his great idol.
Okay.
Guru Gobind Singh was a man who sacrificed his life, his son. Aurangzeb killed his sons in a very brutal way.
Right.
But he never went away from his beliefs.
Right.
That he wanted Khalsa. Khalsa means pure. And Bhindranwalle was talking about the same thing. He said, I don't want a damn independent Khalistan. We are part of India. We are Indians.
All right.
But this man doesn't know anything about it. He's bloody idiot. He's a criminal.
Right. Sir, why do you think the Sikh community feels time and again that their religion and their culture is kind of unsafe within the boundaries of India? Why does this feel come up?
No, they don't say that. What they say is, simply they say that we Sikhs, we are Indians, we are loyal to India, but the way we fought against the Mughals, we wanted our independent identity.
Okay.
That should be respected. They don't say that we want to separate. We don't want a separate country.
Okay.
Now the Khalistanis who are in England, or Khalistanis who are in Canada, they are not the same people like Bhindranwalle and the Gurus were.
Okay.
If they were followers of Guru Gobind Singh, then why the hell they are living in Canada? They should be living here and fight for it.
Right.
They want publicity, they want money, and they're idiots. I'm sorry. I'm talking about those people who are fighting outside India.
Right. Sir, ISI and especially Pakistan were alleged time and again that they are kind of, wo jo kehte hain na, tool dena. So they are kind of trying to influence the pro-Khalistan people in India and outside. Why?
You see, I'm laughing.
Yes,
Can you see I'm laughing?
Yes, why?
Because I'll tell you why I'm laughing. I know Pakistan very well. I'm a journalist. I've been there hundreds of times.
Right.
The ISI does not have any legs to stand on.
Okay.
ISI was started in Syria. The ISI started in Syria and they wanted to fight for Syrian independence and things like that. And then the ISI, after the whole thing was a fiasco, ISI.
Right.
And then when Saddam Hussein fought for Iraq against the British and American forces, the ISI found a space for themselves and they started attacking and they became a recognized terrorist organization.
Right.
ISI does not have any proper organization where they can train anybody or advise anybody. It is our Indians here who talk about ISI. They don't know what the hell is ISI. ISI has no legs to stand on. They are not taking advice from ISI. Let me tell you that. Please listen to me. I don't want to talk about myself. I have been a journalist for the last 54 years.
Right, sir.
And out of those 54 years, I worked for 29 years as a BBC correspondent. And as a correspondent, I was allowed to go wherever I wanted to. Mark Tully and I, we were running BBC not only for India. We were also in charge of Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka and Nepal. But what I am trying to say is that unfortunately, Bhindranwalle does not have any followers anymore. They're all gone. After Operation itself, they were finished off. And those people who are now calling for Khalistanis in Canada and in England, they don't have the same roots.
All right.
So please, this guy, Amritpal Singh, don't compare him with Bhindranwalle or anything. If he was a man like Bhindranwalle, he wouldn't be running away.
All right.
This guy is running away from one place to another. I mean, what kind of a leader he is? And you will see either he will be caught and put in jail or he will escape from India. But he can't go to Pakistan. I'll tell you why. Pakistan is totally bankrupt. They have no money.
Because they don't have money. They are actually in the doors of IMF for saving their own country.
They don't know how to survive.
Exactly.
And they are not interested in giving shelter to a man like Amritpal Singh. They would have given shelter to Bhindranwalle.
All right.
But they will not bother about this guy. He's a waste of time.
Okay. So you have made journalizing several of times. What kind of a person he was? How was he as a person?
He was a lovely person. He had a very open heart. He had a terrific sense of humor. And he had conviction.
Okay.
What he was fighting for. I asked him 2-3 times. I said, what do you want? Why don't you, if you want, he said, listen, I don't want to have anything to do. I don't want to go to Mrs. Gandhi and tell him that I want this.
Okay.
He said, we want a self-respect for the Sikhs. We want India. We are Indians. We want to live in India. Let us live the way we want to live.
Okay.
We are not interested in a foreign policy. He said, we want our culture, the way we live. And that's what we want. And he always spoke about one thing. And he said that, they fought again, they fought 3 wars, big wars, the Sikhs, with the British at a time.
Right.
And they fought for self-respect. So there is a huge difference in the philosophy of those people who were Bhindranwalles or the other Sikhs. Nowadays, with Amritpal Singh on, he just wants a publicity for himself, and then he will make money and then he will disappear. He's got no conviction at all.
Okay. Sir, what were Bhindranwalle's preparedness for this Operation Blue Star? Because you said he had conviction that government might come down on him. So how was he prepared?
Unfortunately, the Operation Blue Star only lasted 4 days. And it started very quickly. But the last press conference Bhindranwalle gave was just a few hours before Operation Blue Star started.
All right.
And I was one of the few journalists who attended his press conference. And he said, we know that the army is going to attack us. And we will fight. And we don't know whether we are going to survive or not, but we are not going to leave. We will fight. And they did it. They were all killed, but they did not leave their areas in Golden Temple.
Right. I would like to come down to another person, Shabek Singh. He fought for India on 48 and 65. Moreover, he was kind of a war hero of 1971. Still, he strategized the counterattack for Bhindranwalle at the time of Operation Blue Star. What went wrong for him?
Let me tell you. Shabek was a soldier.
Right.
And he was a great soldier. And Shabek Singh's speciality was that he was not an ordinary soldier who, as a soldier of the wars. He did. In Bangladesh, he fought for India. And he did a considerably good job. The unfortunate thing, what happened with Shabek, that when India won the Bangladesh war, and the Pakistani, general there, he surrendered. After that, he surrendered. There were about more than 100,000 Pakistani soldiers. They were all made prisoners by the Indians. Shabek Singh became too arrogant, unfortunately. He was not a bad guy.
Okay.
But he was building a house in Jabalpur. And then he found a truck in his Pakistan in Dhaka. and he picked up a few things and in the trucks, and he sent the trucks to Jabalpur so that he can use those materials and that he's got to build that house. Unfortunately, in India or anywhere else, what happens, we all have our admirers when we are successful, and we also have our enemies.
Right.
What Shabek did, when he got the thing, when he took it to Jaipur, there was a report against him that he picked up these things and went away, which was not done. I mean, soldier, he was a brigadier at that time. He couldn't have done that. It was that surrendered, all the things which were surrendered, they should have been given to the Indian army. But he took it away. So he was tried for that, the stealing those things.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the last general of India, I am forgetting his name, there was a case against Shabek. And that general gave a verdict against Shabek because he was guilty of whatever he did. And just a day before he was to retire, now listen to me what I'm saying. Just a day before Shabek was due to retire, he was sentenced.
All right.
He was sentenced as a prisoner. And his pension was denied to him. He didn't have any pension. So he was very bitter. Extremely bitter. A man who served all his life as a soldier for the Indian Army, a day before he was due to retire, he was held guilty and he was not given any pension.
Right.
He was very bitter and then he left. Then he came to Bhindranwalle and he said, I'll fight for you. And he remained inside the Golden Temple with Bhindranwalle. And what happened was that I used to go there very frequently. So last time I went to see, one of Bhindranwalle's men who came to know me very well, he said to me, I used to speak Punjabi with them. So in Punjabi he said, would you like to meet Shabek? Managa, is Shabek here? He said, yes, he's with us. Managa, I didn't know he was with us. I said, I would like to meet him. So he arranged a meeting for me in the Golden Temple. So Shabek and I sat there, we had a tea and we chatted for 1 hour and I asked him, I said, how come that you are here? He said, no, I'm working with Jarvan Singh. I said, well, okay. And I did not know anything about that he was denied his pension and all that.
Okay.
Then he told me, he said, that's what the army has done with me. They did not do justice. And just a day before I was due to retire and I would have got all my facilities, my pension and everything, they were all denied to me. So I became very bitter and I want to fight with Janal. And he was doing Janal had given him the charge that if there is a fight or attack by Indira Gandhi's forces, Janal will be the defender.
Okay.
So inside the Golden Temple, he very carefully made the guns, guns everywhere. And it was very interesting that, they knew that there's going to be an attack. We did not know, but they knew. And they started doing what is in Hindi or in Punjabi is called Naka Bandi.
Right.
Making fortress inside.
Right.
And then Martelli did a story showing all those places where all these guns were placed and all that. And that story was broadcast on BBC that Shabek is with him and they are preparing for the war. And then Indira Gandhi came to know that they are preparing for the war and they decided to have an Operation Blue Star.
Okay. Sir, I think Operation Blue Star was not Mrs. Gandhi's first priority. She was actually planning for Operation Sundown, and even then Raw Chief R.N. Kao was also of the opinion that Operation Blue Star is not the first option to go for. Then why did they go for Operation Blue Star, and how was the Operation Blue Star different from Operation Sundown, do you think?
I cannot answer this question because I am not privy to what Mrs. Gandhi was planning. Okay. So all I can tell you is this thing.
Yes.
That it was Sundarji who started preparing for this, and there was suddenly a movement of some Indian railways trains were carrying soldiers and arms and ammunition but it was all done secretly. But what happened was that somehow or the other, it came to be known that they were doing exercises. Army was doing exercises in Rajasthan and that area.
Okay.
And the exercise was at a very large scale.
Okay.
And Arun Singh was the defense minister of Rajiv Gandhi. And he was a brilliant guy, Arun Singh. So Arun Singh was also there supervising the movement, and they were doing the strategy.
Okay.
So I came to know about all these things. The military attaché of Pakistan, whom I knew very well, and he called me. He said, "Satish, I want to discuss something very urgent with you."
Okay.
And I said, "All right." So we met for coffee in a hotel, and he looked very excited and nervous. I said, "Kya ho gaya? What is happening?" He says, "They are going to attack Pakistan." I said, "Well, who is going to attack Pakistan?" He said, "Indian Army." I said, "You're mad." I said, "You're bloody mad." He said, No. You don't know." I said, "I don't know." He said, "How come? You know everything what is happening?" I said, "I don't know that they are going to attack." Then he told me that this military exercise is going on and Sundarji himself is supervising. So I told Mark, I said, "Look, they are doing a huge exercise." He said, "I know about the exercise." I said, "But the exercise is because they are preparing for operation, against Pakistan." So he said, "This is bloody nonsense." We did not know that they were practicing for Operation Blue Star. We didn't know that. That army chap from Pakistan told me that they are preparing to attack Pakistan. So there was a confusion. But anyway, it was carried out, planned by Sundarji.
So we were talking about Shabik Singh. I would like to come down to Lieutenant General Kuldeep Singh Brar now. He was
Kuldeep Singh Brar was a great guy.
Yes. How was that? What was his point of view towards this duty of his?
Kuldeep Singh Brar was very much with the Indian Army, but he was a bit angry because, Kuldeep Singh Brar, his nickname was Bulbul. Do you know what is a Bulbul?
Yes, it's a bird.
Bulbul is a beautiful bird.
Right.
And his nickname was Bulbul Brar. And he was in charge of Operation Blue Star. But he had no idea that Operation Blue Star is going to happen very soon. In fact, he was at the airport to go with his wife to Europe for a holiday.
Right.
And he got a call at the airport and they said that you come back. And he said that Sundarji wants to talk to you. So Sundarji told him that you have to go to Punjab. Go to Punjab and we will tell you what we are going to do there. So he was very angry because he was going with his wife for a holiday and he had to cancel his
Obviously.
He came to Punjab, Amritsar.
Yes.
For this thing. But by the way, tell me, there was a young, at that time, not anymore, but there was a guy, his name was Israr Khan.
Okay, I see.
Who was a brigadier and he was a commando. And Israr was honored by the Indian government and Indian Army for excellent role of Israr Khan in Operation Blue Star.
All right.
And he did a damn good job. And I met Israr inside after the action. Yeah, now I'm an 84-year-old. You know, what's your first name?
My name is Shubhodip, sir.
আমি বাংলা বুঝতে পারে, but very little.
Okay.
I'm now 84-year-old. I'm a very old guy.
Right.
But at that time, I was about 50.
Okay.
And I enjoyed doing what I was doing at Operation Blue Star.
Right.
I'm an old man. But Bulbul Brar is still a friend of mine. He lives in Bombay.
Okay.
He lives in Bombay, Bulbul. He's retired now.
Right.
But he was a damn good general and he was a very honest guy.
Right.
There is no difference between what is Amritsar today or what Amritsar that day was. It was under tension at that time. But it's a city of very wonderful people. The Sikhs are very humorous people and they've got a sense of humor. They're hardworking and still it is one of my favorite places, Amritsar.
Obviously.
Whenever I got a chance, I just take a train and go to Amritsar. The food is excellent, the people are understand, the sense of humor is good, and it was a very relaxed city even then. Now I think I've got to leave you because then my wife is going to beat me up if I don't reach home.
Sir, it is absolutely my honor to talk to you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, sir. Thank you.
And you too. Enjoy yourself.
থ্যাংক ইউ। 1971 সালে পূর্ব পাকিস্তানের মুক্তিযুদ্ধে লজ্জার হার স্বীকার করতে হয় ষড়যন্ত্রী পাকিস্তানকে। আত্মসমর্পণের কাগজে দস্তখত করতে হয় বীরপুঙ্গব পাক সেনানায়ক হিলালে পাকিস্তান আব্দুল্লাহ আমির খান নিয়াজিকে, নিঃশর্তে, প্রকাশ্যে। সেই কাহিনীও শুনতে পারেন পডকাস্টিং শুভর প্লেলিস্টে কিছুটা পিছিয়ে গিয়ে। মুক্তিযুদ্ধের 51 বছর পর্বে সেই ইতিহাসই শুনিয়েছেন আরেক বর্ষিয়ান সাংবাদিক মানস ঘোষ। তবে তারপরেই পাকিস্তান ভালো মতো বুঝে যায় সম্মুখ সমরে ভারতকে হারানো সম্ভব নয়, ভবিষ্যতে তা আরো দুষ্কর হবে। তাই প্রচ্ছন্ন যুদ্ধের পন্থা অবলম্বন করে তারা। আর এখান থেকেই জন্ম হয় পিন প্রিকিং এবং ব্লিড ইন্ডিয়া থ্রু আ থাউজেন্ড কাটস থিওরির। অশান্ত ভারতের মধ্যেই সান্ত্বনা খুঁজতে থাকে আইএসআই। জন্ম হয় খালিস্তানি বিচ্ছিন্নতাবাদী আন্দোলনের। সেই আন্দোলনের ছায়াই ফিরিয়ে আনতে চাইছে এই অমৃতপাল সিং। তবে যেমনটা শুরুর আলোচনাতেই উঠে এলো, হাজার চেষ্টাতেও অমৃতপালের ভিন্দ্রাওয়ালে হয়ে ওঠা সহজ নয়। আজকের এই পডকাস্ট এপিসোড আপনার কেমন লাগলো? ভালো লাগলে লাইক করুন আর শেয়ার করুন আপনার বন্ধুদের সঙ্গে। আপনার মতামত অবশ্যই লিখে জানান কমেন্টে। এই পর্বটি শুনতে পারেন পডকাস্টিং শুভ স্পটিফাই চ্যানেলেও। সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন পডকাস্টিং শুভ। পরবর্তী পর্ব নিয়ে ফিরছি খুব শিগগিরই। আপনি থাকছেন তো?